Athlons has placed Cam Kinchins on its first team defense there at the safety position.
I mean, yeah, that's where he should be. I know that people are going to want to say, he's not the biggest. He's not the fastest. He's not the most versatile. But he's big enough. He's fast enough. He's incredibly intelligent. He plays the game. Maybe it's a discount version of it, but like there's shades of like Ed Reed stuff, of him understanding the defense. We'll call it, maybe if I take that back, well, even though I've already said it, so somebody's going to clip that. But, like Jaquan Johnson was incredibly smart back there. And Jaquan Johnson performed at the level that he did despite his athletic shortcomings. But that was because he knew the game inside and out, and he was just a playmaker all through his career. But like, that's why, if he's on a roster, it's, like 49th out of the 53 man if he's still in Buffalo. You know what I mean? Like, he's not starring because he's a little limited physically. But, you have that kind of a guy with more physicality in Cam Kinchins. And yeah, he absolutely should be first team All-American. He should have been unanimous across the board last year, to be perfectly honest, for what he did and how he did it. So yeah, having him there, not surprising, not shocking, well-earned and deserved, 100%. Now we just need other guys to get up there with him. We need Leonard Taylor to not be the sometime guy. We need to have that be more consistent. I'm not going to say every single down at defensive tackle because that's unrealistic. But, instead of flashing, on, we'll call it, 16.6% is 1 out of 6 snaps, right? So if you're like, hey, he flashes elite performance 1 out of every 6 snaps, that's great. But it's also not good enough for a 5-star and one of the foundational pieces of our defense. You know what I mean? So you want other guys to take steps forward with him, with Cam Kinchins along these kind of lines. Maybe even if it's not first team All-American, although I would love that, first team All-Conference. But, as you look at that list, Kool-Aid McKinstry, that's a guy who Miami recruited. Obviously, he went to Alabama. Jerzon Newton, he's from down here. He is a guy who went to, where did he go to school? I think he was like the 7th or 8th signing from Miami Central, Northwestern or something, but like way down the list, at their signing day. And we're like, I mean, hey, he's a little undersized defensive tackle, and then he can go to Illinois. That's perfectly fine. And he's turned into that. I mean, the same thing like with Kalijah Kancey. Everybody knew about Kalijah Kancey. He was just undersized. So it's like, okay, we're going to go in a different direction, and not take a 6 foot, 260-pound defensive tackle at the size he was coming out of high school. And then he's great, great value Aaron Donald all of a sudden. But even with those kind of guys, or missing on those kind of guys, you have to then be able to develop the guys that you do get. And like, again, Miami's had plenty of blue chip talent in the recruiting classes on these rosters. So congratulations to Cam Kinchins. Absolutely what it should be. And now we need other guys to stand with him at that level of performance.
Clearwater Central Catholic. Does that sound right?
Clearwater Central. Okay, so the other side of the state. But yeah, we recruited a couple dudes from that same school over Clearwater. I got a couple friends who live over there. But yeah, Jerzon Newton from the west coast of Florida. But still,
Jaquan Johnson is coming off a pretty little productive season there in the pros. 32 tackles and a pick.
Turn up. Even better than I had thought. Great.
For a good football team.
For a very good football team.
To extend on the preseason accolades and projections, along with Cam Kinchins, On3 listed its 100 best college football players, with Cam Kinchins at number 29, Leonard Taylor at 37, and Akeem Mesidor at 89. Those are the 3 Canes on the list.
Mesidor seems just a tad low for his level of performance, and Taylor seems a bit high for his level of production. So I guess, but basically the same thing. But I mean, yeah, all those dudes being in the top 100, I think, is reasonable to really have a season that Miami would enjoy. You need Tyler Van Dyke, obviously, to find his way in there. and then probably another couple of dudes from whatever position. You know, it could be linebacker, it could be offensive line, could be skill. You know, but you know, those three guys, Mesidor, Taylor, and Kinchins being on there, great. Postseason, to have, you know, like an 8-9 win season, if possible, you need Tyler Van Dyke and another to make that happen. But I mean, hey, I think that the framework is there, but you know, I'm walking on faith and not on sight at this moment.
So you jumped on my next question. Take the quarterback out of the equation. Who would be your next player that, if you had to make a prediction and really wanted to be right, maybe money on the line, who would be evaluated as being a top 100 player at the conclusion of the season?
First of all, I'm not going to say any of the running backs because of the by committee nature there. I'm not going to say any of the wide receivers because at present it's by committee and we're like unknown. In for a dime, in for a dollar. I've said this one many a time. This is a guy.
Can I guess?
Before you do, this is a guy that I am super duper high on coming into this season. I think Mark is going to get it right, but this would be my bet.
Maybe Nigel E. Kelly.
Nigel E. Kelly, number 9 defensive end. That's the dude. Okay. I think that he's going to take a big leap this year, like a capital letters, the leap. You feel me? So, yeah, I am bullish on Nigel E. Kelly. So if I had to pick, and you have the added benefit bonus of playing opposite Taylor and Mesidor, as well as where I see his projection going. So you're going to, at some point, offenses are going to have to pick and choose. What are we going to do? Who we're going to, like, what are we sliding? Who are we doubling? Things like that. And yeah, that's, Mark has a mind like a steel trap and a memory that goes along with it. Yep, that's, if I had to pick, obviously Tyler Van Dyke did it. But on both sides of the ball, 9 on offense, 9 on defense is a great jersey number. So, hey, Nigel E. Kelly, that's the guy I would pick.